The MCEVOY Assembly Member, South Central. Welcome to this live press conference today. It's been streamed live on Facebook. Nobody is going to be identified in this conference, and we're not going to be taking questions at the end due to the nature of the matter. I'm going to be referring to children A, parents and grandparents X, and Mr. Y. I ask anybody commenting on Facebook not to identify anybody in any case, including your own, if you have your own issues and own cases watching this. If anybody does make a comment identifying anybody in any case, then I'll have to delete the footage, and I don't want to do that, so please do not identify anybody. It's been put to me by constituents that allegations of abuse of children A in care were made by grandparents X. To date, grandparents X say that they have received no paperwork to confirm that any investigation took place into the allegations made. Grandparents X were told verbally 12 months after their complaints that an investigation had been carried out by Bridgend County Council. They received no details. Now, people watching this, people here may think that this is unusual, but take it from me, it is not. I have here some photographs of what grandparents X say were a catalogue of injuries. Here is a picture of child X, or child A, I'm sorry, with a large bruise on the torso. I'm advised that the bruise had faded because the visits to see children A took place 4 days late. They were not made available on the day they should have been. There's a small photograph here of bruising on an arm. There's another photograph here of bruising on another arm. I've also seen photographs of 2 black eyes. I'm unable to provide those photographs because they may well identify children A. Here is a picture of a head injury. After the grandparents X complained, they were banned from seeing children A. They've not seen their grandchildren for 3 years. It is alleged that the reason for this is because they complained about the alleged abuse. A deputy team manager for safeguarding involved in the case was Lucy Bagnall. Lucy Bagnall was the social worker struck off last week with a lifetime ban with immediate effect, as reported by the media. It has been established that false allegations were made about the grandparents by Bridgend Children's Services. I've seen the police record rebutting allegations. I've seen paperwork from the Information Commissioner regarding a series of data protection breaches by Bridgend County Council. It was revealed by Social Care Wales that the social worker Lucy Bagnall, or former social worker Lucy Bagnall, communicated details of the case and made allegations about grandparents X to a Mr. Y. It was stated that neither mother or grandparents would ever see their children again. Crucially, Bridgend County Council had the opportunity to investigate the allegations made by grandparents X, but they did not take that opportunity. As a general point, in cases like this, where it is proved that wrong information has been made to make very serious decisions, the most serious decisions, there is a bullying culture in Wales whereby a local authority will go after the very people that have been wronged. Given that the social worker has been struck off for life and guilty of gross misconduct, I'm calling for a full investigation into this case by Bridgend County Council. I want to see the family given all the paperwork of any investigation which allegedly took place into the allegations of abuse. I think we need to recognise that Children's Services is in chaos all over Wales. There are dedicated, decent social workers completely overworked and under-resourced. The social workers with a caseload of 40 live cases when really they should be dealing with a lot less than that. As a result of the chaos in the system, the likes of Bagnall can flourish. I'm calling for Children's Services all over Wales to be taken away from local authorities and to operate as an arm's length body. I don't think there's anything more important in politics than child protection, and in Wales I'm seeing time and time again through my casework that the system is broken. I'm here with Michael O'Brien, who wants to make some comments now about the impact that this has had on the family, and then we'll draw matters to a close. Thank you. Michael?
Well, I'd like to say, after last week's events with Miss Bagnall, this has had a profound effect on Mr. and Mrs. X. And, I've worked with the family for the last 9 months, working on the case, and putting everything together for Care for Council Wales. So, we brought about this outcome. But Mr. X has had 3 heart attacks, and he's had, this is the effect it has on somebody when false allegations are made. And the damage it does to people, is irreparable. And Mrs. X as well is on medication and, antidepressants and things like that. And this is what it actually does, and it has a long-lasting effect. And I know from my own experiences of being wrongfully accused how bad it is to sort of like pull yourself from the mire and to help yourself and to stand up to these allegations. And I can only reiterate what Neil have said. We do need an independent body to look at this matter throughout Wales and this particular case, because a miscarriage of justice has happened in the family courts, and this is what I believe has happened, and it's causing misery to the children and the family. And unless these matters are addressed, unfortunately, this is going to be the norm. We're going to see more and more people in the same situation as Mr. and Mrs. X. We cannot allow that to continue. And once you know about these things, then I feel that we all have an obligation to make things better and to do the right thing. The case is ongoing. I can't talk too much about the details of the case in great detail, but what I can say is this is a miscarriage of justice in my view. I've looked at the evidence. There is more evidence there which suggests that other people were involved in making false allegations against Mr. and Mrs. X, and these need to be addressed. And until they do, we will continue fighting. But in the meantime, we think Bridgend County Council should be holding an investigation as to why they refused to investigate this complaint from the very beginning. Because Mr. and Mrs. X, after speaking to them, feel vindicated for everything they've been through, and now know that the truth has come out. So I'm going to leave it there, because obviously, I don't want to stray into areas where I shouldn't go into. But, I'll keep everybody updated, and obviously, at a later date, you'll be hearing more from me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael. I just want to say that there were some lurid headlines regarding the social worker being struck off last week. This is another case. It's not connected at all to those headlines. It was a case which was barely reported on in the proceedings. Unfortunately for the family involved, it was the same social worker that was also involved in this case. I want to reiterate the call for an investigation by Bridgend County Council into this matter, and I'm also going to be raising this case and the whole matter with the Welsh Government also. I think we'll draw it to a halt there. Diolch yn fawr, thank you.